What is sexual harassment? We've all heard the word sexual harassment, but do you know what sexual harassment really is? One of the most confusing aspects of sexual harassment is identifying the types of behavior that can be categorized as harassment. Determining what is and what is not appropriate behavior in the workplace is not always clear-cut or as simple as we would hope. This chapter provides examples and activities that clarify behaviors that constitute sexual harassment. Okay, let's get started. Here are some questions we'll be reviewing in this course. Question number 1. Describe how you define sexual harassment in the workplace. Question number 2. I believe that sexual harassment occurs when... Alright, now question number 3. Actions that could constitute sexual harassment include... Are you ready for the last question? Number 4. People who are victims of sexual harassment may not complain because... Okay, now let's take a look at some common responses to the previous questions. Just to refresh your memory, the first question was, describe how you define sexual harassment in the workplace. Some popular responses to that are, a coworker asking me to date him or her, a manager asking for a sexual favor or I'll lose my position, a peer grabbing me inappropriately, one of my supervisors saying, hey, if you and I get together for the weekend, I think that would really help your chances of a promotion. One of my coworkers constantly talking about her sex life using graphic language. The second question was, I believe that sexual harassment occurs when... Most people responded with an answer similar to these. A man tries to hit on a woman, when the boss makes provocative comments, someone in power tries to take sexual advantage of someone who does not have the same level of power, peers touch you or make unwelcome comments in the workplace. And on to the third question. Actions that could constitute sexual harassment include, some popular responses by people include, having someone expose himself or herself to you. Yes, that would definitely qualify as sexual harassment. Being given a back rub by a coworker. Having to listen to sex jokes told by coworkers. Having unwelcome comments made to you, such as, hey good looking, hi babe, you look hot today. Being stared at by a colleague. And last but not least, number 4. People who are victims of sexual harassment may not complain because some of the responses we typically see are, they are embarrassed, they feel they have done something to provoke or bring on this type of behavior, they're afraid of being labeled a troublemaker, they're scared of what the other person may do, they feel this is just part of the job. Were your answers similar to any of these responses? Identifying sexual harassment. Okay, let's talk about laws for a second and identifying sexual harassment. Federal law, specifically Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, prohibits harassment of an employee based on race, color, sex, religion, or national origin. The Age Discrimination in Employment Act prohibits harassment of employees who are 40 or older on the basis of age. The Americans with Disabilities Act prohibits harassment based on disability. And the Equal Opportunity Commission and various law enforcement agencies enforce each of these laws. Now let's talk definitions. Sexual harassment is a term that is often tossed around and even more often misunderstood. As a starting point, we need a definition for sexual harassment. The Equal Employment Opportunity Commission has provided the following definition. Unwelcome sexual advances, requests for sexual favors, and other verbal or physical conduct of a sexual nature constitute sexual harassment when: Number 1. Submission to such conduct is made either explicitly or implicitly a term or condition of an individual's employment. Number 2. Submission to or rejection of such conduct by an individual is used as a basis for employment decisions affecting such individual. 3. Such conduct has the purpose or effect of unreasonably interfering with an individual's work performance or creating an intimidating or hostile or offensive working environment. This formal definition can be divided into 2 categories of sexual harassment: quid pro quo and hostile environment. Quid pro quo is from the Latin term meaning this for that. This type of harassment consists of verbal or physical behavior or conduct of a sexual nature that is unwelcome and persistent. The submission to or rejection of the harassing behavior is used as a basis for employment decisions. Employers are not allowed to make employment decisions based on such characteristics as race, ethnic background, or gender. Additionally, employers are not allowed to make employment decisions on the basis of whether or not an employee grants or withholds sexual favors. Employment benefits cannot be granted, refused, promised, or threatened as a reward or punishment for sexual favors or romantic interest. The next topic we're going to touch on is hostile work environment. A hostile work environment describes a workplace where the environment makes it difficult for employees to concentrate on his or her job because of the overly sexual nature of conversations, pictures, or actions that occur in the workplace. A few examples of actions that may contribute to such an environment include insults, offensive sexual material, sexual language, off-color jokes or stories, unwanted comments about an individual's body, unwanted requests for dates or for sexual favors, and unwanted touching.